These are the Scarpa Drago LVs. These are some of the most expensive shoes out there, but do they perform like it? These are the LV low volumes. That just means that the toe box is a little bit narrow than the typical Dragos. That's my understanding. And these are a really pretty monochromatic shoe. If you're climbing in these, you're gonna look good in them, but are you gonna perform well in them? That's the big question. Let's find out. I'm gonna be climbing 3 different angles today: slab, vert, and overhang. And I'm gonna test out how well these shoes perform in those 3 angles. And I'm gonna review the Scarpa Drago LVs, and I'm gonna tell you what my thoughts are on them. I obviously wanna tell you about their performance, how comfortable they are, the break-in process, because these are gonna be brand new to me. I'm gonna talk to you about how well they size compared to some other shoes that I've had, and of course, how well they toe hook, how well they heel hook, and overall their performance. And then I'm gonna kind of sum it up at the end. Were they worth it? Because one of the worst things that you can do is go out and buy the most expensive pair of shoes and realize that you don't like them. Because buying a pair of shoes can be kind of subjective based off of how well they fit. Because that's one of the biggest issues with climbing shoes is they don't fit right, they're not gonna climb right. One of the things that I've noticed is that my other Scarpas, the rubber was super thin and they started to deteriorate after just a month or 2 of use. And I haven't put them through the ringer really, just been doing normal climbing sessions. So that's the rubber. Again, they're pretty aggressive. Here's the toe box. More like that. It's a fairly symmetrical toe box is what a lot of people would consider, but there is that curve here, so maybe a bit of asymmetry. Very shallow heel, which is great for me. I have a not flat foot, but I don't have a huge heel, so it's tough for me to find shoes that actually fit. They're Velcro. It's just some kind of leather or faux leather inside, so no lining. These double straps in the back to help you pull these on because they're gonna be tight. But that's the anatomy of the shoe. A lot of rubber for heel hooks, a lot of rubber for toe hooks. Let's start with the fit. So I'm gonna pop these on. I go no socks. I know most people do no socks, but just thought I'd clarify. I'm going barefoot in these. I did downsize a full size and a half. I've worn other Scarpa shoes in the past and realized that they stretch out a little bit more than some other shoes that I've worn. I'm typically in Evolves. That's the brand I normally use, the Phantoms more specifically. And the rubber on those is much stiffer than the rubber on these, for better or worse. That's more or less a preference thing. And I know that it takes a little bit to get used to that because in thinner rubber, this might sound weird, but you can feel the wall really well. And in thicker rubber, you're just grabbing, you're just towing stuff. And I'm wondering if these are going to help my footwork a little bit more.
2 hours later.
1 shoe on. These look really cool. If you have slightly wider feet, a lot of people would recommend the normal Dragos. All right, they're both on. There's a little bit of room in the heel, so I don't know if that is a sizing issue or a fit issue. Let's climb on some vert though. Most of the climbs that I'm gonna hop on today are gonna be fairly intermediate climbs. I'm honestly just wanting to communicate how these shoes are gonna perform. So let's hop on this white boulder. They're climbing shoes. They fit okay. Let's try something with a little bit more delicate feet. This yellow one definitely has more delicate feet. Let's try that. They're sticky. The rubber is really sticky. It definitely reminds me of my instincts. It's probably the same rubber. Very thin. I can feel the texture underneath my feet. Some of these yellow holds, they do have some little tiny divots, and I know it's not the most delicate thing in the world. This is, again, a very intermediate climb, and my tune might change when I find something on Slab, but overall, so far, so good. Let's try to find something with some heel hooks, maybe a toe hook or two. So we've made it to the overhang. Let me just show you kind of the angle of it. Let's see, are we flat? So it's not the most intense angle, but I mean, that's pretty aggressive. Just wanted to show you that before I hop on this black boulder. I know that some of the intended beta has a heel hook and a toe hook in there, so I'm just gonna kind of force that a little bit and hop on it and see what happens. So definitely pay attention to a toe hook in here. I don't know where the heel hook is. We're just gonna climb it and see what happens. Chill. I mean, these shoes have so much rubber on the top of them that a toe hook is just gonna feel really secure. And it did feel secure. So as far as that goes, they're performing like, well, any other shoe that I've had. Let's try to find something more delicate and stemmy, maybe behind us. All right, this black one, on camera, I don't know how these look, but they're just little tiny pancakes. You're really relying on pressure in this corner here, this dihedral, I think is what it's called. And I would definitely consider some of the movement delicate on it. One thing that I noticed on there is as my feet were shifting, I think these shoes, the LV, don't quite fit my toe box. I probably should have got the normal full volume Dragos, however you want to pronounce them. They're really pinching on my pinky toe and really cramming my toes on top of each other, kind of like this. I have a very asymmetric toe box, and these are wanting to point my toes right to the middle, and it is painful. So speaking of the break-in process, ouchie. Let's find something over here on Slab. I consider Slab one of the bigger true tests of shoes, because in a lot of cases you have to trust really high feet, you gotta trust volumes, and I think this one's gonna be a great example of that. Check this out. Yellow holds. This is a slab wall. All the holds are big, but I will be stepping on some volumes, and that might be a really good way to test out some of the rubber on here and see if I'm actually gonna trust my feet or not. This high right foot is gonna be great, and there's gonna be some spearing. Smeared great. I can feel the texture on the wall, and with the thin rubber, I feel like I'm getting a ton of volume of the shoe, a ton of the shoe rubber on the wall or on the volume that I want. Whereas my stiffer soles, you can't really flatten them out very much, so you're towing everything. Let's do it. Let's do white. More stepping on volume, more stepping on small things, more delicate footwork. Excuse me. Oh, Scarpa. Oh, wow, scary. That's what we call a cheese grade. I just destroyed my front and I destroyed my shorts too. Oh, shoot. So I was getting right here. You can see the shoe rubber that I left on this side. I don't know if that was an issue of the shoe or just my foot placement. I'm gonna give the shoes the benefit of the doubt. I would say I'm not having a tough time trusting the feet.
Wow.
I think that my slippage was less so to do with the shoes and more so to do that. This is a well-worn boulder and there's a lot of shoe rubber on this. Would I recommend? They fit your feet better than any other shoe. It's hard for me to not recommend that. If you're just buying them because they're expensive and because a lot of really good climbers have them, I'd say not worth it. My final thoughts are that I've had other shoes that perform just as well. For me, at a fraction of the cost. If you have a wider foot, these are not for you. If you have a really skinny foot, these are great. As I was breaking them in, the heel definitely sucked in a little bit better, but they are tight and I need to break them in. I give them like a 3-star out of 5 for myself, just because they didn't quite fit right. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are, what your experiences are on the Drago LVs, or even if you've had the normal Dragos, drop a comment down below. My older brother uses Dragos and he's had his for a long time, and he's climbing V8, V8 plus outside in those, and he's crushing the inside boulders. I think he flashed a V12 indoors with his, and he's just a really good climber. He can climb in any shoe that he wants. So again, that's tough for me to recommend a particular shoes. If you want to see some other shoe reviews, including the Scarpa S's, the slippers, or the Evolved Phantoms, check out my channel. I wear those a lot, and you'll catch me in those in a lot of my shorts. You'll catch me in those in my full-length videos, so drop a like, comment, helps the channel out a ton. 3.5 out of 5. That's not bad, I don't know.